Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Back in the Forbidden City, currently an unknown amount of time in the past. I probably could figure it out if I looked up when Skyrim actually takes place. And she actually will go check out the underground tunnels today. This was the same underground tunnels we checked out before, but when we tried to come down them in the present, this area collapsed. Apparently this time it's not going to. At least not yet. Hopefully it doesn't collapse and trap us down here. Now we were warned by the Vigil of Stendar of this area being dangerous. Here's we have an immaculate dwarven helmet. An immaculate dwarven helmet. I'm sorry, my brain went left there for a moment. And we have this dead corpse, which is apparently of the other guy. We'll go a little bit deeper. We'll go ahead and drop a quick save, but we'll go ahead and go a little deeper. But as we can see, once we get so deep, we're going to start taking damage. And it's pretty significant. As we can see, we took quite a bit of damage just going a little deeper. Luckily, we seem to be able to repair the damage. Apparently, you can repair it if you get out of it quickly. But we might not be able to go very deep. What we did find, though, obviously, since we found it, since it was obviously sitting right there, was the immaculate dwarven helmet, which we also can look at these, and it says makes wearer immune to radiation when worn as a complete set. So we don't have the complete set yet. We just have the boots and the helmet. We're still missing the armor itself and the gauntlets. Now, a few people might realize where the armor is. We've already been told about the character wandering the city in it. We are going to head back towards Balius's area. Now, I did find this body while we were exploring. I still don't know who this is or why their corpse is out in the middle of the street. And apparently I'm not going to be able to get them to be sitting up here. But hopefully they're not important. I might be able to fix it though, because so we have this guy. We're going to talk to him real quick and see if we can get the armor from him.
What do you want?
About your shiny dwarven armor you're wearing.
What about it?
Any other like it that you know of?
Nope. This is the only one like it in the whole city.
I'd like to buy it from you.
It's not for sale.
I need a complete set.
Not my problem.
Be going then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's definitely a difficult character. But Sarah doesn't really want to kill him because she doesn't know what it would do to kill someone here, since the dwarves' law would be in effect. I can hear.
Hello, neighbor. Made any exciting new discoveries?
Actually, while we have our time here alone, I wanted to ask you about time travel.
Time travel? You know, as it happens, I do. It was a great obsession of mine for years after my wife passed. I thought if I could go back, I gave up on that idea a long time ago. But recently the Jarl has asked to see my research notes. How strange that you should now take an interest too. Can I ask what the nature of your interest is in this unusual subject?
I traveled here from the future, and I want to go back.
I don't quite know what to say to that. How can I put this charitably? Perhaps you're tired and emotional and need some rest. But I always enjoy discussing my theories with a receptive mind. So I'll humor you. What did you want to ask?
If you traveled to the past, how would you return to the present?
For argument's sake, if you found yourself in that position, you'd have only two options. To live out your days in the past, or force a paradox. A paradox, you see, would involve changing the past so as to prevent the events which caused you to travel back in time in the first place. But you'd be taking a big risk by doing that. Who knows what the consequences would be? Some say that whatever you do, it will lead you right back to the future that took you back in time in the first place. An eternal loop, if you will. But me, I believe that creating a paradox should fling you back to your original time, having changed the past for you and everyone else.
How would you create a paradox?
Well, let's say for argument's sake that you really have traveled here from the future. You could create a paradox in a few different ways. Essentially, you could do anything that would remove your means or motivation to return to the past. For example, you came here to achieve some goal. Achieving that goal would mean you will never have been motivated to come here. A paradox. Or, if the thing that allowed you to travel back in time is still here, as a past version of itself, you could simply destroy it, I suppose. That would mean, of course, that you will never have been able to travel back in time. Another paradox. But doing so could have terrible consequences. But if you really are from the future, as unlikely as that is, telling me or anybody else what happens next could have disastrous consequences too. I think it's best if we talk about something else.
Sure. I found some immaculate dwarven armor and I wanted you to take a look at it.
Ah, yes. Most dwarven armor you see these days is quite badly worn, but this piece is still perfect, after thousands of years. It also seems to have some magical properties. It should protect you from the harmful energy down in the tunnels below the city. It all but killed Brandis when he went down there, but he didn't have a full set. If you can get down there safely, let me know what you discover.
I'll be going
Very well. Come back if you think of any questions about...
So we now know that we need to find a full set. Thanks to her poking around earlier, she knows there's a pair of gloves in there, and she knows he has a set of armor. Would create our full set, since most items in Skyrim are a 4-set piece. Gloves, body, boots, and a helmet. I'm pretty sure that is the full set. I can't think of any other pieces, and I don't know where any other pieces would be. But we do have a couple of other things we need to poke around at. She does know of another character she wants to speak with before she goes making any decisions. The one decision I will be making will not complete the quest line, is not part of the main quest I'm currently doing. But the two things I want to poke at are going to be useful in their own rights. Let's go see if we could talk to Dueler. I think that was what his name was.
Oh,
or Dolly.
Hello. I wasn't following you.
I didn't think you were. What's your story?
My what? My story? Oh, do you want to hear about me? I'm sorry, but my memory is not very good. I only remember some things. I came here with my brother Horrible. He used to look after me, and he said he always would. But then he died. Now nobody looks after me. I'm not very good at remembering things. Sometimes I forget, so I need help. That's why I need some help finding Horrible's treasure.
You're looking for?
Well, my brother told me before he died that he had left me something very precious in a secret chest. He hid it away just for me. I've asked the others for help, but they don't help me. The Jarl even wrote me this letter, but I'm not very good with words. Here, do you think you can read it for me? Tell me what it says.
So we're gonna read Dolly's letter and see what's up. Is this is odd, I can't seem to find it. Our invitation to Dusty Journal. Oh, from the Arl to Dolly. I am writing to you in relation to your continual request for assistance in finding your brother's hidden chest containing so-called fortune. While I am sympathetic to your plight and passing of your brother some years ago, I wish to impress upon you the important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. It is not a place to debate about whether your brother might have misled you or whether it is simply misremembered his words to you. I do not pose to discuss this with you again further, and as I have had quite a few complaints from the neighbors about you bothering them, I must ask that you stop this behavior immediately. Why would he do this? Why would he send somebody to tell them this? Why, they know that he's not very good with this.
What does it say?
I read your letter.
You did? Oh, thank you. What does it say?
The Jarl says there's no fortune, and you should stop going about it.
What? No, that can't be right. My brother, he told me he left me a fortune. He would lie to me. You'll help me, won't you? You'll help me find it, please.
I believe you, and I'll help you.
Thank you. All I know is that it's hiding somewhere in the city. And you need this rusty key. My brother gave it to me to unlock it.
Did your brother tell you anything about where it's hidden?
I can't. Sorry. I don't remember things so good. But he said it was hidden under the ground and that I have to hold my breath. That's all I remember.
Be going.
Oh, all right.
Under the ground, and he'd have to hold his breath. Holding his breath automatically makes her think water, since you usually have to hold your breath underwater. And that also brings us to that sunken house. One of the easiest ways to hide something would be to put it in a sunken building. We will jump down there and deal with that, because that's always an option. I do know where this is going, and I'm not going after this ending. This is what I consider second best ending.
Hey, you're the one who killed all those bandits, aren't you? Gods, what a nightmare that must have been. What do you want with me?
Story.
I don't see why I should share it with you.
You know a way out of here?
So my wife disappears a couple of weeks ago, and now everybody thinks I know a way out of here. I wish you idiots would just leave me alone.
Did your wife find a way to escape?
Well, she's not here anymore. That's all I know.
Want to know where she went?
How should I know where she went? I woke up one morning and she was just gone. Didn't say goodbye. And now you people won't. And nobody cares that I've lost my wife. They just love a bit of scandal. Or to find out how they can get out of here too. You're all animals. All right. Please, let me know if you hear anything about Maisie.
Yeah, I will. I do kind of want to... she is kind of trying to keep this all secret because she doesn't know who to trust right now because this place is filled with nothing but problems. So she's going to wait because she doesn't want to reveal to them that she might have found a way.
What can I do for you, my friend? Well,
Nothing,
come
I
back
guess.
anytime you
She's not going to keep asking people about how to leave. Everyone obviously doesn't have a clue. Because obviously if they knew how to leave, they wouldn't be here. Because a lot of them don't seem very happy with being here. Seems more of like a, we can't leave, so we're not going to kind of thing.
There she is. Such a pretty thing.
What's your story?
My story? Well, my name is Degland, and I'm a merchant, yeah? But people say to me, Degland, they say, Degland, why are you a merchant? They find it surprising because I'm such an honest and trustworthy person. And sometimes you hear about your merchants who are, you know, dishonest. Well, I say to those people, I'm not like them. My father used to say to me, Degland, you can't be like the others. You be a good boy. And I was, my friend. I was not only just a good boy, I was the best boy. The best boy now and the best merchant with the best prices for you. All right. See you again soon, my friend.
The Honest Trader. We're going to take a look around real quick and see what these are. Flying fishery. Venom's fresh produce. Getting his armor is not going to be easy. Especially since if we try to take it from him, it'll end up in a fight, and a fight will end up enacting the dwarves' law, without knowing what the dwarves' law is.
Talking about how you killed those looters. Well done.
Hello, my friend.
Miranda told me you cut down those looters before they breached the city gates. Well done, my friend. Well done. Hello there.
Sorry.
I'm Habik. I live out back with my wife, Miranda. We used to live in solitude, but, we had to leave. Found this place by accident, like most. The Jarl needed someone to mind the store. So I volunteered. Doesn't make any money, of course. Not enough customers. The Jarl says he likes to keep us busy and out of trouble. But of course, he and all his cronies in the Citadel never seem to lift a finger.
If the Jarl's so unfair, why don't you overthrow him? Yeah, that's not going to work because of the dwarves' law. Why'd you have to leave
Our
Solitude?
son was working at my stables outside the city. He was alone when he had a visit from some Imperial, a cousin of the High King. This Imperial thought he'd just take one of the horses as a tithe. Guess he didn't think a 12-year-old boy was going to stop him. But Limar wouldn't stand for it. And as the thief rode off, my son managed to shoot an arrow into his shoulder. But I wasn't there at the time. I came back from the market to find my son's body, trampled in the dirt. It was... I can't begin to describe it. I was shattered. I went straight to Torig's court and demanded justice. But I guess that word doesn't mean much to an Imperial. Instead, he seized my stables and told me if I ever set foot in Solitude again, my wife and I would end up the same way as Limar. So we left. Wandered Skyrim for a while, and eventually wound up here. I was hoping this place would be better. I was wrong.
Sorry to hear about that. I'll be going.
Thanks for stopping by.
Oops. I gotta be careful.
Heard you held back an invasion all on your own. That's fine work.
Heard you took down some bandits. Wish I could have sunk my axe into one of them. Hello there, young lady. You look nice.
What's your story?
Well, it's a sad one. But I don't mind telling it. Name's Golvar. I'm a farmer. Always was. Grew up on a farm near Whiterun. It was a good life. Fresh milk and eggs every day. Running around the farm barefoot with my brother and sisters. Never even had to lock our doors. One day, when I was about 18, my father and I were carting some produce into the market when we saw a group of strangers in the top field. My father told me to run back to the house and get his axe. So I did. I ran so fast I almost threw up. But by the time I got back, it was too late. I found him dead by the side of the road. The cart and all our produce was gone. That was the first time I learned about bandits. My mother passed soon after, and I took over the farm. Now, I'm as good a farmer as any, and better than most, but things went downhill from there. The raiding started before long. I'd come outside at dawn and find a few chickens missing. Next it was a cow, then 2 cows.
Go on.
That was the first time in 5 generations my family started locking its doors at night. We knew the guards from Whiterun weren't going to help us. One night, when we had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who it was and what they wanted. I took my father's axe and pulled the door open real quick. Before he knew it, that bandit had my father's axe right down the middle of his skull. But there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was burned to rubble. My family slaughtered like cattle. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. It still burns whenever I think about it.
Sorry.
Well, at least I got one of the bastards. Cleaved that grin of his right in half. Sometimes it helps me get to sleep at night. Sometimes. Anyhow, after that I drifted some. Took odd jobs around Falkreath. But nothing seemed to work out. And then I guess I got desperate. I started taking things. Just small things. Carrots, cabbages. Just enough to survive. I wasn't proud of it. And then one day, I watched myself break into some guy's farmhouse and help myself to his things. And I guess I realized what I'd become. Next thing I knew, I was looking for a place to die. And I found the entrance to this place. And that shaft. And I started my life over again.
I see. So you have your own farm again?
Well, I'm a Talus had declared himself Jarl and claimed all the farmland before I got here.
Not happy about
I'm
that.
not. All I've ever wanted is to make a living by working the land. But it seems someone always has to go and steal the fruits of my labor. That bloody Jarl. He's no better than the bandits who destroyed my life. Only difference is he uses words instead of weapons. But he'll get his. One day. Just do me a favor and keep that last part to yourself, would you? Fair enough. See you around.
I hear you're handy in a fight. Glad you're on our side, love. Hello, neighbor. My story? Oh, not much to tell, love. I just work the land, make sure we've got enough food for everyone. Can't afford to run out here, you know? It's hard work. Probably harder than being Jarl, but I don't mind it. Keeps me active as I'm getting on a bit. And I sleep soundly every night.
You don't think the Jarl's worked hard?
No, love. I don't think he works hard at all. And I'd say the same to his face if I ever saw him. But he's always hiding up there in the Citadel, doing... You know what? I'm not even sure what he does. I know he doesn't keep order. We've got the Dwarves' Law for that. But live and let live, I say. Long as I have a roof over my head and food on my table, and good neighbors like Gulvar, I can't complain. I'll be seeing you around, love.
Person's got their own, like, way of handling this. Gulvar seems like he's got a pretty wrong pit of anger growing. Everyone seems like they've got a bit on edge.
Working hard.
What is it?
And Demetis. Demetis is one of the ones we can get a quest from, but it's not a quest that actually you can complete. It's actually to get the helmet we have. He wants us to go get it for him and bring it back to him. So I'm gonna give it out straight. As far as I know, following any of these characters and basically saying they're the one who's going to cause the problem will not basically finish this. The way this goes is quite simple, and we're actually going to go ahead and take care of it tonight. Kind of has an idea of what's going to happen. She's kind of put it together herself, and she's starting to realize the problem. She knows what she needs to do to get further, and what she needs to do is she needs to go into the palace. She needs to get the gauntlets. Now, I don't need to go through the entire palace, and she doesn't think she needs to either. But going to want to go through most of it, because she knows that there's something in there. She knows something inside that palace must hold the secrets. Not only because of the fact that it has the gauntlets, but it has to have something else. Now he has the armor that we're looking for, but the way she's going to get it from him is different. First thing she's going to do is take care of this place and get the gauntlets from this place. Now, much like I mentioned before, I mentioned the fact that you can't really get in here because it's locked. We can see that it's barred. And I showed how I could teleport up to there and get over. The other way you're supposed to do it, like I mentioned before when we were talking about it, is that you're supposed to basically parkour your way up there by jumping on these coffins, I think. It just seems like the only real way to do it that isn't with can see we're slowly making our way up. Oh, darn it. Maybe if we go into third person, maybe it'll be easier in third person. The problem with I was about to call this Minecraft. The problem with Skyrim is that the mechanics for jumping in this. Yep. Darn it. But see, we're supposed to climb up these, which I'm going to try one more time. And if we don't, I'm just going to teleport. See, I keep getting up to that chandelier and then falling down. But you're supposed to get up to these, jump onto the chandelier, jump up to here, jump up to there, and then walk along this pipe until you fall into that section. What we are going to do is we are going to use Zenithar's Blink. But yeah, you're supposed to get up onto this pipe and then fall down onto this side to get the gauntlets. Now we have the gauntlets, and now we can explore. The reason why I wasn't sure if I wanted to go through this is that what it seems to be is that the city outside changed, but this doesn't, because this is just the same map that they use the entire time. Because here comes all those skeletons. Now, she's unsure if these skeletons are what's going to cap it. If this is what the enforcement of the Dwarven's Law is. And if I don't do some healing, we're going to end up broken. I kind of want to get a sword that absorbs health, because I feel like that would help me out a lot. We can always open this with them if we want to pick it open. I can also teleport over it. We still have that option. She does want to go through this and find this, but she also is thinking about that piece we've talked about before, where the underwater ruins. I can still go after that as well. Now, a big thing to be noted about in this is we need the immaculate dwarven armor. We'll notice that this is dwarven armor, but it's not immaculate dwarven armor. Is the problem. Wondering if the difficulty is set because these guys aren't dying as easily as they were when we came here last time. Old dead spider. We will read through the journal. Part of the story, and this is really good for story. Alright, let's take a look at this journal. Horrendous Third of Hearthfire. Cursed. The logbook containing all my experiments from the last 3 years has gone up in smoke, after one of my subjects, flailing about clumsily as they do, knocked it into the fire. All those years of meticulously painstaking work for nothing. There is no way I am going through that again. I'll need to try something more creative. I need to go one moment. Turned out it wasn't anything important, so let's continue. I'll need to try something more creative if I'm to get the dead to tell me the secrets of this place. Why did these people always die in waves, several years apart? Why are they always burnt to death? What it was killing them? I'm going to try and amplify my resurrection spell by tapping into the strange dwarvic energy source directly upstairs. Perhaps that will loosen their tongues. So the necromancer was basically looking for a way to talk to the dead and basically get them to be like explaining what's going on. This guy obviously says he's found. He must have found something, some evidence here of the dead, um, of the dwarves' law being a thing. Ew, gross. Ish. The other reason I think she's in here is she's looking to see if there's a suit of dwarven armor in a suit of immaculate dwarven armor in here. Because obviously, if there would be a suit anywhere in the city, it would be places these people couldn't have gotten to. So this is probably the first place she would think to look, is this palace. Obviously, she hasn't gotten any luck yet. And shocker, she's not going to. A lot of you probably already know what we're going to do to get the dwarven armor. But Sarah is not convinced of doing that yet. Not to mention she doesn't know what will happen if she does. She's a little nervous to make a choice right now because obviously if she makes a choice and makes the wrong choice, everyone will die, including maybe even her. It's just ingots. Thought they were. No, for sure, though. I like this place. I think it's really cool. I think the statues are neat. I think the fact that it's, like, in ruins is neat. I like the fact that it's got huge cobwebs and the fact that it's got this, like, mysterious thought to it. Now, we are running into a lot of these burnt horrors. I think Sarah can pretty much tell that they're not natural. I think she can feel the magic on them. Because I do believe that these burnt horrors are supposed to be resurrections. Obviously, that necromancer we were reading that book about has been trying to resurrect the dead, and apparently these are his so-called subjects. I'm mostly just checking to see if they're anything good. An interesting fact of that we found this, which this feels a little bit more direct. We'll be heading up there in a second. The Myth of the Dwarves' Law. The Myth of the Dwarves' Law by Deratus II. Yeah, so this last part, basically, he talks about, like, the Dwarves' Law, how they didn't even know what the Dwarves' Law was, and then, let us see if once and for all, if the Dwarves' Law is real, as I strike one of you with my fist. And this entire place turned into another tomb. Now, obviously, something must be special about this location, because I'm striking them with my sword, and I'm still just killing them. The dwarf's law is not in effect. There must be a reason for that. Nope. Let's see what's up here. Strange energy radiates all around you. Can't tell if I was taking damage to that or not. Yep, I was. Not one of those inscriptions. They're all over the place. You're starting to wonder if maybe the bodies are something to do with it. Like, not the bodies, but the energy is something to do with it. Maybe something a little bit more direct. It seems to be that something is causing this, and she's not entirely sure what that means exactly. We are getting close to the end of this episode. We probably have like at least 2 more. We have probably 2 more. 2 more bits to explore here. We probably have 2 more, not 2 more bits, but 2 more episodes of exploring. Maybe just 1 more, and then we'll be finishing this by going down the path that I have pre-chosen. Like I said, I have played through this a couple of times, and Aetherius magic does make it a little bit easier. Like I said before, you should be able to get up here without the teleportation ability. I just used it because of the fact that it's really annoying to try and fight your way into here. Master Gate. Necromancer chest. Imperial bow of ice. Sapphire. Skirmisher's flask. Mage of sparks. And a vibrant clutch. Anything that I really could want. We found the necromancer's chest. We found some of the necromancer's stuff. Seems as though he made his defense here, but where is he? Maybe he died. One of the skeletons walking around. One of the burnt corpses. Maybe he accidentally activated the dwarf's law in here. Always a possibility. Make another potion. Like that. Another mask. A nice game. And then the necromancer's journal. These are the last words of I, Nambras, the great and most powerful necromancer who ever lived. By tapping into the strange energy in this place, I have achieved that what no other necromancer in history has ever dreamed. A mass resurrection. 24 corpses, maybe more, brought to life by a single spell. Consider for a moment the raw, terrifying power in that. Such is my power that my greatest achievement, transcending even my own wildest expectations, has forced me into this corner. You may ask, what kind of summoner can't even summon courage to leap from the balcony to the lake below? Afraid of heights I may be, but you will never find a man calmer in the face of death than I. For it is only in death that I may perform my greatest feat ever, self-resurrection. I can hear my dark beauties coming for me, clamoring on the final locked gate, determined that I join them on the other side. It is time I join them. Nambras the Great. P.S. Look behind you. There we have Nambras, who of course goes down relatively easily. The necromancer taken care of. Another set of robes added to my ever-growing collection. All done in nothing but fine gear. I did notice about partway through this that I wasn't wearing any armor, and I decided that it didn't matter. Did I check this? I think I did. Alright. So that's it. That's the palace. We found out in here that the dwarven law can be settled by something as simple as a punch. As the person punched them and then apparently ended everything. We'll step out into the Forgotten City. Now we can see the city from far above. Obviously, all we have to do is jump down into the water. We will be returning to the desires of the city to figure out what's going on, but that will be in the next episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!